Hi there, my name is Lang. Today I'm making a lemon tart with a blueberry coulis. I think it's a classic dessert and I think almost everyone likes it. It's very nice, light and refreshing after a filling main meal, after a full day of skiing, so I think it would be really refreshing after a day. And the blueberry will be pairing really nicely, the blueberry coulis will pair really nicely with the tangy citrusy flavour on the lemon with its sweetness, and I think it will balance out really nicely. I think it's a nice, easy dessert to make look good. I think it can do nice presentation with it. And also the ingredients are quite simple. They're not too expensive. So I think it would be easy to make or easy to use your budget on a mountain. So here are all the ingredients I'll be using today. I've got some golden caster sugar, plain flour, butter, some eggs, some blueberries, some cream, some flour, and some icing sugar back here. I've already weighed out all of all the ingredients, so I won't need to do that while I'm making it. So in here I've got my food processor and I've just poured in the flour, the butter, and the icing sugar, and I'll pulse this until it resembles a breadcrumb mixture. So I've now mixed up the butter and the flour and stuff, and we're going for this sort of texture here. So it's like quite fine, but not too fine. I've now added one egg yolk and some water, and that'll just be bringing the dough together. So I've lightly floured the work surface, and I'm just pouring out all the flour and the butter mixture. So now I'm just going to combine this, push it all together until it makes a dough, and yeah. I think it might be too crumbly, but if it is too crumbly, I'll just add another egg yolk to this. But I think it actually might be okay. I think I might just need to knead it for a moment. Luckily, I did not need to add another egg yolk, so I've just rolled or kneaded the dough into a ball here. So I've just given everything a little wipe down, and now I'm just gonna butter the pan. Wipe my butter all around it to stop the pastry from sticking to the tin. And once I also do this, I will add just a tiny bit of flour to the base of it, just so there's an extra layer of just to stop it sticking. Extra layer of stuff to stop it sticking. I'm just going to give that just move around here, just make sure it's all going to be coated and there'll be no bits sticking. Stop that. So now I've just placed the dough of the pastry just on here, and I'm just going to flatten it out a bit just first. And then once I've flattened it out, I'm going to give it a roll out till it's about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 inches overhanging, so that it would go over this bit of the pastry here, and I would cut off the top here. So now I have spread out the pastry with my rolling pin, and I had to add a bit of flour because it was sticking. Next I'm going to get a palette knife, like kind of just lift it off the surface here, and then I'm going to put it back into the tin. So I've rolled the dough out a bit too thin at edges, so a lot of it's kind of fallen off. So I'm going to have to go back in there just with my hands and just kind of plaster it on the edges and just push it together to make the base. So this was the first round. It's not going to be very accurate, so I'm just going to grab a knife and just carefully just cut it away from me, just to get all the edges off, and then I'm going to use these edges and I'm just going to re-put them back on, and then I'll make it'll make a nicer crust. So I have filled the tin now, or the pastry tin, with just the pastry wall, and I've tried to even it out as much as possible, but so I've done that. So I'm just going to start poking it with a fork now, just all over, just I think can let the air through, to cook the bottom more evenly. And once I do this, I'm going to put it in the fridge for half an hour just to cool, and I'll do that just before baking it. So I'll leave it like that. One more there. I'm going to put this in the fridge for half an hour now. I've now taken the pastry out of the fridge and it's nice and chilled now. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab some tin foil, just get a layer of it and cut it out. I could probably tear it actually instead. And I'm just going to push this down so it feels around the edges. This basically, so next up I'm going to add some baking beans. And the point of the pastry, or not the pastry, the tin foil and the baking beans is just to stop the pastry from expanding up. So just put half, most of them on, just so it's nice and spread out, and that will stop the pastry from rising. But it will cook. So I'm going to put that in the oven for about 15 minutes, and then I'll be back. I've now cooked the pastry for about 12-13 minutes, and we're going to go in for a second round, but without the baking beans on, baking beans. I'm just going to carefully take all this out. So this is it's like a crust now. I'm going to go put this back into the oven for another 10 to 15 minutes again to finish it off. The tart is now out of the oven, and I'm basically just going to leave that to cool for a moment until it's cool. And once it's cool, I'll add the filling and then put that back into the oven for about half an hour, I think. Now I'm going to get started onto the filling. So with this, I will basically I've got 5 eggs in here. I'm basically just going to whisk these until they're fully mixed. And then once I've fully mixed these, I'm going to really try and incorporate all the eggs into itself. And basically, it's simply as adding the cream, the lemon zest, the lemon juice, and the sugar. So the eggs are now whisked pretty well, I think. So I'm basically just going to add everything now. So this is the lemon juice. Some lemon juice. Add some cream. That is 125 milliliters of cream, and that was 4 lemons worth. This is 225 grams of sugar, and then I'm going to add four lemons worth of 4 zests worth of lemon. Now that's all in there. I'm basically I'm going to incorporate it all again, just fully whisking this, and this is going to be the filling for the tart. I might strain. I think I'm going to strain this mixture out. So I'm going to let the lemon zest flavour it, and then I'm going to strain it out in a minute, just so it's nice and smooth. And then I think basically I'm going to pour it into the tart once it's cooled, and I also need to make my blueberry coulis, but that is the mixture. So I will be back in a moment, and I'm going to start work on the blueberry coulis. So now for the coulis, I like doing 4 parts of fruit, 1 part of sugar, and 1 part of lemon juice. And I'm basically just going to put this on the hob for a bit until it's turned into a sauce, and then I'm going to strain it as well. So it's been about 10 minutes now, and I've got my blueberry compote here, and what I'm going to do, just to really get a bit fine, is I'm just going to put it into this blender, and then once I've blended it, I'm going to push it through a strainer. It'll be really nice and smooth, so I'll be able to have a really nice glossy sauce. My pastry is now cooled, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the mixture that I'd made, the lemon mixture, and I'm just going to strain it through. And this is basically just going to stop any lemon zest or bits of unmixed egg, or just anything that you don't really want. So this is going to make sure it's a nice and smooth base. I'm just going to grab a spatula just to get all the extra bits out of this bit. So yeah, there we are. So there's always a bit more at the bottom. So put that on through. And I'm not gonna try and push any of it through, because then otherwise all that pulp will also go through. So now I have a nice mixture here, which has no zest or anything in it. And the lemon's been sitting for a little bit, so it's infused into the mixture as well. So I'm now going to put this into the oven for about half an hour, and when it's done, and then it'll be basically finished and I can plate it. So it took about 33 minutes in the oven, and this is what it looks like. Looks pretty good, and then I'm going to decorate it in just a moment now. I've now decorated the tart, and I've used some blueberries here, some lemon, and I've got some mint up here. Obviously there might not actually be mint if I was in the mountains, so I could maybe try and figure out like a different alternative, something else there. And I'm now going to plate a bit with some of the blueberry coulis, and I will get another video of that. Here is the finished product. Got the lemon tart, another bit of mint, some blueberries, and this is the blueberry compote here. And yeah, it looks a bit like a smiley face. But yeah, that's my lemon tart with a blueberry compote.